I'm not a Vietnamese, and I'm not a refugee from the Thai-Cambodian border, and I'm not Colonel Lumley. But I have the privilege for many years of working at the border, and like all the people that did work at the border, whether they were ICRC or UNHCR or NGOs, we all kind of lived on the edge. What does that mean? First of all, we had the refugees, and the refugees went from day to day in a great deal of fear for their lives, a great deal of need for their bodies, and a great deal of need that someone knew they were there. They were always afraid they were forgotten. And if anything, all of us that did live and work on the edge brought them hope. I remember coming into the camp and even kind of pressing the truth a little to tell them maybe next week there would be a list on the board bringing the refugees to Panaticum. And of course that went from week to week, but it was necessary just to keep that spirit, to keep that hope in their hearts. After my time on the border, working with the Vietnamese and the Khmer people, I spent a little time in Panaticum and some time in Bangkok, working at ICRC, the International Detention Center, where many refugees found themselves. Many migrants found themselves. Many people that came to help found themselves. And that was a time to get people out of trouble. However, I'd like to mention that when these wonderful people were rescued from the camps, and some of them spent many, many years there, the refugee problem did not end. Today we have over 30 million people who are either refugees or misplaced people throughout the world. And this is where ICRC and the UN is needed so badly. Because of their reputation and their power, they can help a great deal to lead the ways for NGOs and for people like myself. We come in under the protection of the ICRC and the protection of UNHCR, and usually that saves us a lot of difficulties and problems. Today I work in Bangkok, and much to the surprise of many people, we do have refugees. They are not in a camp, they are on the streets of Bangkok and other Thai cities. People that came because they heard the UN was in Bangkok. Many of them are children, and many of them have been taken advantage of. Many of them have been, what would you say, taken across borders without their permission. But I work with these people. Today they're not from Vietnam, they're from Sri Lanka, they're from Pakistan, they're from the Middle East, and they're from West Africa. And above all, many of them are from China. Why are they from China? China is developing, but you have unscrupulous brokers that offer people jobs, well-paying, and then they arrive in Thailand and they take their passports and the broker disappears. And these poor people, many of them are left stranded. Also, we have a number of Vietnamese, and these Vietnamese are not the ones that were in the border. These are people that were pushed out of Vietnam or fled from Vietnam. They are what we would call hill tribes people. Very nice people, very simple people, very good people. And they're in Bangkok. We feed them and we hide them because they're illegal, and you get a lot of good Thai people that close their eye to the fact that they are illegal and keep them out of the way of the police. Also, we have in Bangkok a school for Buddhist children. We have 70 children at a Wat in Bangkok. And they're at a Wat because we collaborate with the Buddhist monks to protect them, to feed them, and save them. We call that interfaith dialogue. Many of our people come to teach at the various Wats, but in the meantime, it also helps us to protect refugees, because Thai police are very shy to enter a pagoda or to take a monk, and therefore you hide them under the shadow of the monk. So I find myself there with many others. We work in collaboration with the JRS, the Jesuit Relief Service, Vincent de Paul Society, which I think many of you know what they are, a number of others like the Anglican Church, the Chinese Church in Bangkok, and some of the NGOs. We get help from NGOs to deal with them. But sometime looking back, and I am not a refugee, not a Vietnamese, but I'm still going and working with refugees. I'm almost blind, my eyes are gone. But however, that sometime can work to my advantage. So now, I thank all of you for listening to me, and I am overpowered by seeing all of you again. Many of you for the years that were in between, and people that identify themselves as Bordeaux. That was the young Vietnamese that were forced into the army by the North Vietnamese, and because of it, they could not go to the US, so we had to find a way around that. They came through Canada. So, thank you all, and I think it's time for me to shut up.